Hey there, welcome to my channel. As usual, I want to introduce myself. My name is Brian and I make YouTube videos on my 2019 Signature Edition Q50S rear wheel drive. Today I want to talk about what I'm going to do, maybe possibly with a future new tune with my car, discuss some of those details and why I want to do that, and also too some history about my car, so stay tuned. Okay, again, thanks for tuning in, and I appreciate people checking out my channel. Right now my car is Ecutech tuned, and here's the Bluetooth dongle that I have just for reference. I am currently tuned with Jotech, and they are located here in Dallas, Texas, and they primarily mainly do a lot of upper end cars, GTRs, Porsches, Lamborghinis and whatnot. So I was thinking, man, if they can tune those cars, and a lot of the other high-end cars that they tune, then obviously they know what they're doing with an Infiniti Q50, 3.0T. Nissan, they're a big Nissan tuning facility, so or tuner. But ultimately, through the months of doing this and posting things about this car, people have chimed in and expressed their opinion, and and to a degree, I agree that Jotech may have not been the best decision to go with for tuning this car. They don't know the ins and outs of this car, and I fully agree with going with a tuner that has experience, possibly owns his own Q50, a 3.0T, Q60, and so he has a lot more knowledge about tuning that car because it's his, and he has more experience, or she has, don't want to discount she, but mainly them, or he, that they have tuned these cars. So I'm not going to share what tuner I'm going to go with, because that'll be for possibly a future video. I'm working the details out on this tune, and possibly get a different tune on this car from a different person that tends to be pretty respected in the tuning community as far as 3.0T Q50s and Q60s. So I'm going to be excited to see if I can work this out and then bring this content to you. But I want to talk about some things that I've noticed with this car and with the community of tuning these cars. Okay, so the 3.0T came out in 2016, so 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, and now 21 models. I'll sit up because my knees are going to get a little bit sore. So what I have seen from my consensus on this car is that a lot of people, the majority of people, tuning these Q50s, and I can't say for the Q60, so I'm just going to talk about my car, that they have purchased a 2016 or 17 pre-owned because they are a lot more affordable. So, and then after the 16 and 17s, which are the most bought, most had, then you've got some 2018, some Red Sports, and some different ones where they're not nearly as many of those as 16s and then 17s. And then comes me, because mine is a 2019, and then you've got the 20, and then then the 21. So I have come to, and I want to share this, and that the 16s and 17s and the 18s, I don't have proof of this, but my car with the tuning process seem to be a little bit more involved than the people tuning their 2016s and 17s. And let me break this down. I don't know for sure, but Nissan Infiniti could have very well gone in, and I've gotten some tidbits from Ecutech, from across the seas where they're established, and different maybe a couple different tuners, that the 19 has got software changes in it, you know, and then that carries over to the 20 and then to the 21. So, you know, were this 2016s and 17s more easy to tune? Did Nissan not have security matters or different software in order at that time to confuse tuners or make it more difficult to tune? I don't know that for sure, or I can't confirm that. But with my car being the 19, I will just express that it's been more difficult to tune, and why. And people will just come out and say, well, you picked a lousy tuner. That is not true. That is not true. They are an exceptional tuner, and they know what they're doing, obviously, because they've been around since the 80s, and they tune more cars and more expensive cars on a daily basis than most people can even think about. But I'm not here to defend them. But just some things, you know, my car from the beginning is battled with transmission codes. And then mostly we understand that those are from the people you talk to with experience and knowledge will say that, you know, this car in these years are experiencing ghost codes, made up codes, because the Ecutech software currently, their current version, is not communicating directly with the 19 and the 20s as thoroughly as the 16s and the 17s. So I just want to bring that up and talk about how those differences are affecting my car. So, you know, I did mention the PCM codes. You know, the PCM is the power control module versus the ECU, which is the engine control unit. So, the PCM is more transmission, more, what's the term, the putting the power down to the ground, the torque management, I guess is what I'm trying to say, torque management, versus the ECU, which controls a lot of different parameters of the basically of the engine. So I don't know if the 19 model and the 20 and the 21 model have engaged more with software between the two different, you know, PCM and the ECU. But like I said, my car has had a lot of different codes, and it doesn't throw them all the time. But okay, so to get to the point, I'm going to try a different tuner that seems to express a little more knowledge in this area, and see if I can't get away from the shortcomings of the PCM and the DCT codes that I'm getting, the ghost codes. And then I want to also talk about, and I can't verify and say this is 100% true, but I'm very strongly feeling from owning this car now a year that my computer has a brain of its own. And that sounds funny. Of course it has. It's an ECU, and so it has this little computer, but it's like it's got its own little personality. And so when I make modifications to this car and I'm tuned, obviously I'm tuned, that the car starts out really, really fast, and then I can't confirm it, but I think the ECU tones things down. You know, in the very, very beginning, when I make a modification, the car responds very, very well. But over a short given time of driving it around, I have a strong suspicion that the computer takes what I've done and it keeps it on a level playing ground. You know, I got these Nitto tires, NT 555 R2s, and in the very beginning the car was launching like crazy. But then over a short period of time, the car adapted to this new traction, and it totally, it's like the car is trying to keep itself within a parameter of a certain speed, or a 0 to 60, or a 0 to 30, or a quarter mile. And so the modifications that I'm doing that were done to 16s and 17 model cars that are running really, really quick times, my car is negating some of that power because the computer is telling it that is not usual, and it's toning things down, you know. So, and just one thing that I can say that adds a little bit of truth to that is that when I got my car tuned by Jotech, they came back, and when I took it to the track in one of my other videos, the car had some quirky things that were turned on in the software that Jotech was like, we don't know how that happened. So there was a speed limiter turned on, and obviously maybe the Nissan Infinity software, that when they tuned it, that they didn't catch because it wasn't something that they had done on the 16s and 17s that they had tuned. So it turned on this speed limiter. So when I was at the track and I got transmission codes, the car also, with this speed limiter at like 96 miles an hour, it shuts the car off. And it's not that it's going into limp mode, it reached that speed limiter and it cuts the power. So there's just all kinds of crazy things that are going on with this 19 that I don't think the people that own the 16s and 17s and even the 18s are encountering. So their cars are responding better. So in short, so I don't make this video too long, I'm gonna finally bite the bullet and go to another reputable tuner that hopefully we can work past this. He can look at the software, the Nissan Infinity software in Ecutech, and try to make sense of this and turn some things on or turn some things off, and hopefully my car will respond better to my tune instead of what I feel it's taking away power. It's amazing, this little computer in this car, well, it's probably not a little computer, is how it has its hand in everything. And I've talked about this with some other subscribers in very small detail, but it's really, really, gotten to that point where, I think I need to go to this new tuner. So I'm trying to work this out. This is what I wanted to discuss today. I'll express more about who I'm going with the tuner and my tuner experience in future videos as I work things out. But I just wanted to come to you today to talk about and make some more content. Loving my Infinity Q50S Signature Edition, and my new wheels and my drag radials. Everything seems to be on point. But again, it's crazy how things are working out, where the car just continually stays about the same, even though I'm adding all these great things to it, and it just doesn't make sense. So all right, now as I sit in my car and it's getting real hot again outside, I got to jump in the car and turn the air on. I just want to touch a little bit more on some details. It's just kind of funny, whenever I'm making videos and I can't get somewhere that's secluded and there's people walking around, it just feels really, really weird, and they look at me like I'm crazy talking to myself, under a bridge. It's just uncomfortable, and then you never know who's getting upset that you're just somewhere in the open out somewhere enjoying the weather, and they think they've got a problem with you, and then they come and confront you and say you can't be here. But I had to move into my car. So other than that, but yeah, I just wanted to talk about the torque management, with this car, with this particular car, and I've also want to share that I've had other people reach out to me that have 2019s and 20s and say they have common things too that they have questions about, that their car is dropping ghost codes, and it's just confusing to them. So I just think this car with its transmission is something's going on, and I don't know if that was an update in 2019 and 20 from the earlier models, but torque management has jumped in a couple of times, and and I don't know, I've experimented, and I've had traction control on, traction control off, sport mode, normal mode, I mean everything that I could possibly try, and the car just, it responds differently every time. So it's hard to get a good basis for what it's doing. I'm telling y'all on the other end of this video that this car has a mind of its own, and it does what it wants. If it doesn't feel good a certain day, the computer turns it down, power down. I mean, it still drives really, really well. I love my car. It's just, I got to get these things worked out. If it's just fun having a car that's quick and fast. Do I need a race car? No. Do I need this to be a 3-second 0 to 60 car? No. Is it fun to just, chase, you know, numbers 0 to 60, quarter mile, eighth of a mile, 60 foot. I think it is. It's just kind of fun. It just gives me something to do, you know, during this crappy world and this environment with this freaking pretty over-exaggerated virus crap going on. I just think that, you know, and not to be negative, I just think it's a positive thing that brings me enjoyment. So, and then I just like sharing my enjoyment with others, and, you know, they can learn from me if they learn anything, or I can learn from them with people posting comments. So, yeah, but I think it's going to be really cool and a positive thing that, you know, maybe I can get things worked out with this new tuner, you know, and then, you know, the other side of that is that he runs into the same problems and the car responds the exact same way, and he shrugs his shoulders and throws his hands up and goes, yeah, I don't know, man, your car is bewitched. And then just, you know, I wasted another, you know, $500 or $600 on a retune. You know, that could be possibly how things work out, but I'm not going to be negative. I'm going to be positive, and hopefully we can just get this worked out, and then you know, I can see the car improve 0 to 60, and the launches, now that I've got these really badass tires on here, the Nitto drag radials, you know, the newest version, and then hopefully I can make some more actual videos of the car performing, and then, you know, the most amazing thing would be able to get some races with some cars. People that I know don't have any cars, fast cars or performance cars, man. Everyone's married and they drive. I mean, I just don't know anybody. So off the street, just trying to find somebody to get races can be pretty sketchy, you know, and it's just hard to approach people these days, you know, and ask things like that. So, hey there, back at my loud, noisy house. I just also wanted to add real quick, I've got a lot of stuff on my mind and I can't always remember to say it in the video, but another key aspect that tells me that my car is doing some wonky things is in the data logs. I did a series of, you know, one night a whole bunch of starts, launches, and I data logged that with a whole bunch of different parameters. I'm telling you, data logging is really, really beneficial and really, really cool and really, really helpful. And I saw some weird things in when I was logging RPMs and gear and mile per hour. And just have to excuse the noise out here to my left. It's insane. But just to tell you an example, by launching the car, I would see the dip or the leveling out of the RPMs, and then also monitoring the shift points. Just wonky things, you know, that are being shown in the data logs, you know, where you should see a data log, you know, the RPM go up in the shift and then it drops down and then it's really smooth. But in my data logs, I mean, it shows it leveling off and then peaking when there's a leveling off, and then it drops, and then just weird things, man. And it's got to be torque management. This car system is, and I talked to a tuner, and the tuner looked at this and said, man, and it also, let me shed this too. I had it in manual shift mode, and the car was shifting at the end of first gear by itself. And the tuner looked at that and said, man, that's your car trying to do things to negate wheel spin or wheel traction. It's just really, really strange. So I wanted to bring this up. So logs are really important. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe, share if you liked my content, and I appreciate your time, and have a good day, and I'll catch you on another video.